Hi, I'm Andrew Meinzer of Meinzer Law Firm. This video is the fourth in a series regarding estate planning. So far, we have covered the goals of estate planning and how things can go wrong if you haven't done it, how a will can help with the first estate planning goal of transferring your assets the way you want and efficiently at your death, although the will has some limitations, and how a trust overcomes those limitations. In this video, we're going to go into more detail about what your options regarding distribution of your assets after death are. This information pertains both to wills and to trusts, although most often these provisions, this language about distribution or transferring assets after death are in trusts because most people want to avoid the effort, time delay, fees, and other expenses of a probate decedent's estate court proceeding after death, and the trust is designed to do just that. If you have children who are minors or even young adults who are not mature enough to receive and manage your assets, then we can draft a trust so that the successor trustee you choose will hold all the assets for your children until they get to be an age when you think that they'll be mature enough to receive and manage those assets appropriately. In the meantime, the trust will specify that the family house can remain available for your children to live in, and other assets can pay for college and things like that. We can even stagger the outright distributions, so each child receives a certain percentage of his or her share at certain ages. Without a trust, a guardianship court proceeding may be needed for distributions to minor children after your death because minor children legally can't own assets, and a guardianship would put somebody in charge to receive those assets and hold them for your children, albeit under the supervision of the court. So a guardianship court proceeding is very similar to the conservatorship court proceeding that I mentioned in a prior video, and it's something that's best to be avoided just for no other reason than just the effort and the fees and the expenses of it. Similarly, you may want to leave your assets to someone who has a disability and is receiving government benefits that are based on financial need. Inheriting assets from you may cause that financial need to be gone and may terminate the government benefits. In that case, we can leave assets to somebody in that situation by providing that any distribution of assets that person was to receive, instead of going to them outright, will be held in the trust still by the trustee that you chose to be in charge in a special trust called a special needs trust. A special needs trust will allow the person receiving government benefits to benefit from the inherited assets without causing him or her to lose the government benefits. That way, the government benefits can continue to pay the basics, can pay for the basics of life for that person, while the inherited assets will improve the quality of that person's life. Finally, we can draft provisions that protect someone if you want to leave assets to someone who has an alcohol or a substance abuse issue. Now, for married couples, a trust provides additional benefits. It can minimize the estate taxes payable by both spouses at their deaths and defer payment of any estate taxes that might be due until the death of the second spouse to die. It also can ensure, these provisions also can ensure that after the death of the first spouse to die, the surviving spouse can't go back into the trust and rewrite the whole thing and redirect where the assets are going to go after his or her death. These are all options that you may choose if you want. They're not necessarily required. Again, all of them can be included in a trust or will. So now we've covered the first goal of estate planning, which is transferring your assets the way you want at your death efficiently. In the next video, we're going to turn to the second goal of estate planning, and arguably the more important goal, which is making sure that someone you know and trust will have the legal authority to take care of you if you can't take care of yourself anymore in the future for some reason. So I'll see you in the next video.